Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. I really appreciate it. All right. So, component relations. What is it? No one knows. We always have to talk about that, don't we?
Yes, we do.
So, talk to me a little bit about a time when you've had to explain. How do you explain to people what a component relations professional does, or what a components relation professional is?
Sure. Well, being from one of our chapters before, I have firsthand experience of what it's like to work for one of these components or chapters, if you will. And so the way I explain it a lot of times is that we are encouragers of people, to be able to carry out a mission. We talk about our chapters being the lifeblood of our organization because they're the ones out there doing the work of our mission, carrying it forward.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really important for them and our staff at headquarters to understand is that they are the boots on the ground. They're the people doing our work.
So, boots on the ground, people doing the work. What are some of the qualities? What are some of the things that they have to do when they go out and they're working with chapters, they're working with components?
Sure. So we are just going through this with some of our chapters right now and hiring new people to work for their organization. I think you have to be a people person.
Yes.
It's all about relationships in this industry. All about building relationships, learning how people tick, to motivate them to do certain things that you need them to do.
Yeah.
And so I think that's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what's the biggest challenge? What's the biggest challenge that a components relations professional will face?
I think one of the things that we face a lot is that some of our chapters think that they know everything and they have, the edge on everything. And so really helping them build different skills when they think that they know and have all of those skills, it's very challenging because you want it to be a good cohesive relationship. And so you don't want to just come in and say, oh, you need to do this, this, and this. It's really about a partnership between us and them and really, helping build those skills within them. So
It's hard though, right? Because it is that relationship and working with the different personalities where, there's part diplomat, part educator, part representative, where you are having to wear all of these hats and dance a very delicate dance sometimes.
yes, and I look at myself as like a chameleon.
Yeah.
A lot of times I have to change, not who I am and my morals and all that, what I believe, but I have to adapt to whatever situation I'm going into. So I may have to put on my hat of being a little bit authoritative. I may have to put on my hat as brainstormer, as strategist, whatever that may be. And so I kind of look at it that way, that I kind of just fit into whatever, in scenario that the chapters might need.
So if you could look back into your past, was there any indicator that you would have been perfect? Like as a child, were there traits that you had where you're like, yeah, it makes sense that I could do this later on? I mean, was there any hint that you were moving into a territory where you would have to wear these different hats and solve problems and be the CRP that you are today?
Yeah, I guess I always like to work. A lot of people don't like group activities and things like that at school.
Yeah.
But I love that. I love working together in a group and to be able to solve a problem. And so I think maybe that was the indication.
It's like a hint.
Yeah, and
Yes.
before I worked in nonprofit, it was all about volunteer management, encouraging. I'm a current encourager too, and I like to encourage people, and so that's a big piece of it as well.
So if you were to look into the future and see where is the role of the component relations professional moving, where is it going to in the future, based on just what you see in technology, industry, society changing so fast today, do you see the role changing that much? Do you see it staying the same? What do you think is going to happen to the CRP in the future?
I mean, I think we always have to evolve and change. And you said it, technology, I mean, is a huge piece of that. And so I think instead of doing a lot of the things that I do now and having to create things and all of that stuff, a lot of it's already out there. And so I'm just providing the tools and being just, I can't think of the word now, but, being that have all these tools and present it to them rather than having to like create things and that sort of thing. So.
Someone earlier was talking about how component relations professionals, it's like you're going out to the area where old map makers said that that's where dragons live. Like you don't know what's out there. And they would go out and then they would come back and tell the stories, right?
Yeah.
And so you're going out and you're reaching and you're innovating and finding new tools and then bringing them back for your people.
Absolutely, because our chapters don't have a lot of time to do that. You know, they're so inundated with the day-to-day of what's going on in their chapter that we have to be the kind of the visionaries, you know, and those type of, you know, keep them open to the big picture and things that are out there. So it's nice for us to be able to bring those things back to them.
Okay, so are there any tips or ideas for people who maybe they're thinking about going into being a CRP and they haven't done that? You know, any advice that you would give to them?
I would say continue to make it fun. I mean, because it's something that if you let things get to you and take them personally, that, you know, I mean, if you're bent towards that way, then maybe it's not for you. But if you like something that's different every day and you like to kind of be a jack of all trades, then I think a CRP would be a perfect position for
Awesome.
someone like that.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any words for the CEX people, like Peggy, Bill Highway, Charlotte, Sarah, all of them?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for offering this for us. It is amazing, and I can't wait to come back next year.